November 8th. That's why I'm advising my black people. If you have any kind of sense in terms of being a realistic person, you will realize that even though these cities, we help build them and they make money, New York is a big money making town, they are tearing it down in their mentality of making sure that they keep us at the bottom, the black Americans. They are inviting in folks who are that are comfortable with white supremacy, folks who are comfortable with disrespecting and attacking and terrorizing black people or average Americans, okay? And folks who come here talking about they want to be new Americans. And I guess what they mean is we want to be the new American racists. We want to be the new American white supremacists. We want to be the new American KKK. Well, I don't give a fuck what any of them say, including the black leaders who say nothing about the bloodshed in Chicago, nothing about this girl. I don't see Black Lives Matter jumping up talking about this girl who got her eye busted out. Fuck Black Lives Matter. Fuck White Lives Matter. Fuck All Lives Matter. Fuck Trans Lives Matter. Fuck all of that shit. See? Because that's only words. The actions show that our lives don't matter. Even to Black Lives Matter. Okay? And so that's what I'm telling my black people. See, no matter how much we try to get along and do the right thing, yeah, we have troublemakers, we have gangbangers, we have murderers, we have rapists, we have all of that, including child molesters. No child molesters or anybody who thinks it's okay to attack or hurt a woman or child will be welcome in our safe space for kids and families community. Yeah, safe space for American kids and safe space for our families, for black families community. Yeah, it's a long title. It'll have to be fixed. But the bottom line is about a safe space, for our people. We deserve that much. Since they don't want to be fair and have spent. See, that mentality is what makes generation after generation, even after slavery, sabotage our communities. Once I found out that firefighters were leaving our people to burn to death, that was it for me. Or how that little girl got her eye almost bust out, lost her eye for nothing. And then what did they do? They didn't say, yo, that was wrong. Nobody in the community said, yo, that was wrong, man. What did they do? Just stay quiet. And then a couple days later, one of the dudes came over to threaten her mom with a gun. Yo, black gangbangers in Chicago. What the fuck? Yo, you think that would have went down in Polo Grounds jail block? Huh? On 160? Yo, nah, son. That type of shit is mad violation. There's no justification for that at all, man. And that's why we cannot work with them because, see, even the ones who do not do vile shit like that stay silent. They've been brainwashed and trainwashed for generations themselves in their country. Stay silent on any abuse, anything gangs do, any violence of any kind because that's how they're trained in their country with that extreme violence. They're used to it. I'll never forget the video of that poor woman, Muslim woman in a Muslim country on her knees begging for her life. She had done some minor violation of their many laws. She had on her hijab. That wasn't good enough. Whatever it was, they stood over her, the Muslim men, and one of them you could see he was just dying to hurt her. And he made his decision and shot her right in her head. Bam, bam. She died right there. That's how they do. We don't want those folks in our communities. Nope. People think it's okay to do that. And terrorism. Tear up shit. How the fuck you an immigrant and you come to a place talking about your life is in danger where you at? You need help. You need them to pay for everything, take care of you and all that. And how you show it, your thankfulness is in your actions of tearing shit up. And demanding more, and going to court against the people biting the hand that feeds you. Nah, it's time for us to break out and let them do it to each other. See, because my black people, don't you understand? When we push for a couple of states and a little reparations, how can they deny us? We're not asking for money to bankrupt the country. We just want a couple of states where we can be safe. We can establish our safe space for American kids community and for black kids community. For both. And we will allow immigration. Limited and very carefully too. Puerto Ricans, they don't stab us in the back like that. Our kids need to learn Spanish. They need to learn how to work with Spanish people. American Indians, our kids and our people need to learn how to live off the land. You know, they're great with that. In case shit go wrong, and we need to sustain ourselves. We can't always depend on the USA. Suppose something go bad, you know, another attack. You know, they ain't gonna be worrying about helping no black folks. They never do. Remember New Orleans? I sent money to New Orleans, even though I was poor. Because I wanted to help them, man. They don't care about us. See? We'll allow immigration of Jews. So they can help teach our kids business. They're good in business. The black Jews can work with the black Israelites can work with the Jewish Israelites, the Jews, Jewish Jews, you know, together. We can have a committee formed for any grievances. A committee, you know, with black folks and some of them on the committee too, you know, so that it's fair in case of any grievances, you know, that way grievances can be handled without being handled in the street. Bring proof and bring it, and it will be dealt with right away. So there's no problems in our community. We don't want our community shut up. Nobody. Everybody's kids be safe there. And the grown-ups, do what you do. Just leave the kids out of it. You know, our black gangbangers, they can be our police. Do you know how good they'll be at keeping our community safe and keeping anybody out of our community that comes to harm our community? And we'll welcome some white folks too, as long as they are working towards our interests and promoting in their communities, all of them, white, Puerto Rican, American Indian, or Jew, promoting in their communities the true history of America and the brutality that's been done against us, and that we are building a community for a safe space for kids, for everybody's kids that's in that community. They're welcome, as long as they're not sabotaging. If they come to, and they got to do 2 years in the National Guard, guarding our communities and our kids all together. And if they don't come with kids, nah, I don't want you there. I don't trust you. If you ain't bringing your family to our community, don't trust you. You're going to leave your family out there and come to our community, you're probably a saboteur. No. We'll have parks just for kids, just for parents and their kids. We'll have parks for everybody else too, you know? So nobody's left out. But the parks for the kids, only grown-ups there if you got a kid there. You know? No pedophile shit. We don't want no people hurting our women like that poor girl, or hurting our kids like that poor girl got her eye almost bust out in Chicago for nothing. By 2 Mexican, anchor babies or illegals? Doesn't matter. That they all have that same white supremacy mentality. You know, they all have that mentality, you know, of better than black people. And so that's why you see it pops up in the strangest times, in the strangest ways, like the Karens, or a black person will be followed to their apartment, or if they get a nice car, it pops out. It's the mentality. You don't get it? After hundreds of years, while they was trying to condition us for the passiveness and to accept all that abuse, they conditioned themselves to hand it out. And the foreigners conditioned themselves to be okay with it and don't fight against anything, especially not the white man or their own people or their own law enforcement or their own corrupt government. But they will come over here and fight against us and do horrible things like that. Come to our communities and have the nerve to bust a child, almost bust her eye out? Yeah, it's time to go. Leave them to it. And guess what, my black people? Then, once we're gone, the great black migration, like the great American Indian migration, they'll have nobody to target, no black people to target. And they'll have to target each other and themselves. Yeah. The Latinos can target the Muslims and the whites to flood their communities with drugs and gang violence and brutality like that. You know, maybe they'll bust a Muslim child's eye out next. And I'll bet you the Muslims will strike back. I'll bet you, and the Muslims, you know, they can do their terrorism. Or they're, like the African lady told me, we don't like you, we want you to leave. An illiterate African woman who cannot read, barely read or write, told me she don't like me, she want me to leave. And she's been my neighbor for years. That's their mentality. Because they want to take over. It's a takeover is what it is. You know, invasion. You can tell when they come across the border, screaming like invaders. Ah! Attacking the border guard. Do we do that when we go to their countries? No. We'd be thrown out, thrown in jail, or killed. You know, we go to their countries, things happen like we get kidnapped, murdered. Yo, I don't know what y'all gonna do, but the blacks who choose to stay, that's up to you. We don't want nobody who's fine with touching kids. We don't want nobody with no sick sexual things going on. Listen, what you do in your house, you do it with a grown ass woman, grown ass man, that's your business. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I'm not sex police, I'm not DEA, none of that. I just want a safe space for kids, and especially a safe place for black kids, because we don't have it. They don't even want to give us a hate crime bill. When you're going to say that we don't suffer hate crimes, when firemen are leaving our kids and our people to die in fires because of that mentality, that white supremacist, you know, hurt black people by any means necessary mentality, sabotage us. It's sabotage. And they've been doing it forever. In any way possible. Why? Because they've trained and brainwashed and brainwashed themselves to do that, that's fine. And even the ones who did it, don't do it. Hey, they're not making a big deal. Listen, even when they tell on their own, they won't tell where it happened, who did it. You know, they stay on code. You know, we'll tell, we feel guilty. We don't want to carry that guilt. Oh, I got it off me, but I ain't going to tell you who. Because I don't want to take no heat. I don't want to take no heat. You know? No, I don't want to do that. So nothing changes. If you tell, oh, a fireman did it, but you're not going to say what fireman, what state, what doggone firehouse to dig into that, what use is it? Or if you're going, you know, do things like that. That's how they do things. They don't want to tell everything. Like the one who told about the banking practices where they deliberately, even if you got good credit and a lot of money in the bank, they give blacks no loan or bad terms to fuck them up. It's the mentality. And even though he told, he wouldn't tell what bank or where. See, so we'll never win here, my people. But see, the good thing is once we leave, they can target each other for all that shit. The drugs, the terrorism, the racism, the brutality. And anything that we build in our communities will be ours. We'll have ownership. And our kids will be safe. Come with me, my black people. Understand. If not, get ready to enjoy all of the filth, the bacteria, the pestilence, the disease. Our city now, because of the filth they do, is number 2 with rats. When I grew up, it was none of that going on because they weren't here. They weren't out in the street. They love to hang out in the street and then leave their garbage while they're selling their drugs, doing terrorism and all of that. And the white folks talk about we're super predators. I want to see it on the timeline. My people have been trained for generation after generation for hundreds of years to be passive. The black men are very passive against y'all. So when did they become super predators? After y'all flooded our communities with drugs with the Latinos. Yeah, it's time to go. So you'll never, ever have to be afraid of black people again. We'll even build a wall if need be. Have our gangbangers, be our police. They'll make sure that nobody comes in to do us any harm. And they can do what they do. And leave the kids out of it. As long as our streets are not being shut up, as long as our kids and our women are safe, and as long as we have some kind of system in place for immediate justice for violations, we'll be just fine. And our kids can play, all of them, and not have to worry about being killed, or if there's a fire, we're black firemen who would never leave no black kids to die. Miss me with the bullshit, And we won't be doing anything with kids. Not selling nothing, not touching them, nothing. I'll make sure of that.